अच्छा बस इसके ना, अच्छा इजी वे टू फाइंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कन्फिग्रेशन, ठीक है, ये हमने करना था. तो व्हाट इज एन इजी वे ऑफ फाइंडिंग इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कन्फिग्रेशन? द फर्स्ट थिंग इज कि इफ यू look at the periodic table, right? So that's group one, group two. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ठीक है, that's इसको क्या हुआ है? अच्छा, that's your transition metal. Just 1 second, एक second delete करें. अच्छा, these are your transition metals. कितने हो गए? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. और फिर एंड में ना there's अच्छा एंड में there is group ये एंड वाले group 3 to 8. ठीक है, these ones. स्क्रीन नजर आ रही है ना?
जी सर.
जी सर.
अच्छा, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 एंड तक ही चल रहा था, तो यहाँ तक. ठीक है, एक सेंस पूरे को उठाएं. अच्छा अच्छा, क्विक वे ऑफ फाइंडिंग इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कन्फिगरेशंस. ग्रुप 1, ग्रुप 2. ठीक है, देन यू हैव ग्रुप 13 और 14, बल्कि instead just write 1, 2. अच्छा, this is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. ठीक है, और बीच में that's your transition metals, 10 transition metals in the middle. अच्छा, first thing is कि what does the group number tell you? ठीक है, group number जो है ना, that tells you, it tells you the number of valence
Sir,
electrons, right?
number of valence electrons.
ठीक है, plus लेकिन additionally now it will also tell you the subshell arrangement as well. ठीक है, that will also be known by the group numbers. I mean, this one would always be S1. This one would always be, the outer shell will be S2. Either जो है ना 13, 14, 15, it's going to be S2 P1. This one is going to be S2 P2. अच्छा, this one would always be S2 P3 and so on. ठीक है, this will always be S2 P4. उसके बाद क्या आता है? S2 P5 and then finally you have S2 P6. उसका मतलब है कि any element that belongs to these groups, ठीक है, if I look at 7 में कौन होता है? फ्लोरीन, right? फ्लोरीन, ब्रोमीन, iodine. I pick any element, ठीक है, let's say I pick fluorine. So fluorine's electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, और फिर एंड में क्या आएगा? That's going to be 3p. ये तो मैं आगे निकल गया हूँ. 9 electrons, ठीक है. 9 electrons would be 2p5. As I look at the outer shell arrangement, ठीक है, remember this is the subshell arrangement of the valence shell. अच्छा, what do you see? कि it's coming out to be S2p5. ये clear है? It's coming out to be S2p5, right?
जी सर.
So anything that's in group 17 is always going to be, the outer subshell is always going to be S2p5. ठीक है, it will always be S2p5. Bromine उठा लो 35, right? So if bromine is 35, so that will be what? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. फिर there's going to be कितने हो गए हैं? मतलब 4s2, and then there's going to be 3d10. ठीक है, that I think is 42, and then there's going to be 4p5. ठीक है, तो एंड में क्या है? if this is the correct arrangement, it's coming out to be S2P5. ठीक है, is this clear? Yeah, S2P5 वहां पे भी S2P5 is over here as well. So is this clear?
जी सर।
So एक तो by looking at the group number, you will automatically know what the outer shell electronic arrangement is. अच्छा, फिर ये जो बीच में transition metals, you can also quickly figure out the electronic arrangement of these transition metals as well. 4s पहले fill होता है, वो तो हो गया. So all of these will obviously have the outer shell will be 4s2. बल्कि 4 हटा दो, that is the shell number. It's always going to be S2. ठीक है, all of them. The outermost. Except there are going to be two exceptions as well. This is going to be D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7, D8 and D9 and so on. ठीक है, मैंने ज़्यादा कर दिए कि D1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and then there is D10. ठीक है, अच्छा तो एक सेकंड, ये छोटा करना पड़ेगा कि इसको तो लाना पड़ेगा. जरूरी तो करो. Plus these ones as well. बस ठीक है. अच्छा तो transition metal, if you pick any transition, there are two exceptions. Chromium is an exception. ठीक है, chromium में it's going to be D5 and S1 क्योंकि half-filled electronic arrangement is more stable. Or copper is an exception. It's going to be D10 instead of 9 because completely filled is more stable. ठीक है. So all the rest, scandium, vanadium, titanium, chromium, manganese, cobalt, nickel, cobalt, ऑर्डर ही भूल गया. कोबाल्ट, आयरन, निकल, नहीं मैग्नीज के बाद आयरन आता है. मैग्नीज, आयरन, कोबाल्ट, निकल. निकल, कॉपर एंड जिंक. ठीक है. अच्छा, so pick any transition metal. Its electronic arrangement would the outermost subshells would be exactly the same. ठीक है. If I pick manganese, that's कितना है 25, so that's 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, and then there is 4s2, and then you have 3d5. So it's d5 and s2. So clearly you know the outer electronic arrangement by just looking at the group number. सही है?
जी सर।
Or this is called the S block, this is called the D block, क्योंकि the last electron goes into the D, and this one is called the P block. ठीक है? So that's how the electronic arrangement is. And the other thing is कि I mean, since we have, that's about it. The other thing is that the period number will tell you the shell number. It tells you the shell number. But for example, if I want to pick bromine, I can quickly write the electronic configuration of bromine. Bromine से पहले कौन सा हुआ था? I mean, I can know the electronic configuration of bromine. That's S2P5, and bromine I think is in कौन से वाले period में होता है? I think it's in the fourth period. Chlorine is in the third one. Bromine is in the fourth one. So I would immediately know how many electrons it's going to have. ठीक है? Is this clear?
जी सर।
Chalo. Achha, now what we're going to do is we're going to try and do past paper questions on ठीक है, I've sent you past paper. I've sent you the entire booklet. ठीक है, just give me 1 second. Achha, I've sent you these workbooks. One of them is the solved one. Can't see earlier 47. ठीक है, I think it's the first one. The unsolved one. So we're going to start with इसमें we're going to start with the the proton, neutron, electrons. The first one, that's easy. You can kind of solve that one. ठीक है. Size of atom and ions, we're going to come back to that. We'll start with electronic configuration, which is page 21. ठीक है. So where's page 21? So this is page 21. So we're going to start doing electronic configuration in the past papers. Starting with this one, there's an atom, and the table refers to electron distribution in the second shell of an atom with 8 protons. So it's got 8 protons, right? So that also means that it's got 8 electrons as well. So which row is correct for this atom? First thing, what's the electronic configuration? That's going to be 1s2, 2s2, and it's going to be 8 electrons, right? So it's going to be 2p4. So tell me what's the electron distribution in the second shell. The electron distribution in the second shell is it's S2 and P4, right? So S is going to, so which option is the correct option?
Sir, B. सर आपका माइक ऑफ है.
So ये भी clear है? कब से ऑफ था?
सर अभी 1 minute हुआ है.
अच्छा ठीक है. I said electron distribution configuration of an atom of sulfur is this. They've given us the electron distribution. So how many valence shell electrons does it have? The valence shell is the outermost shell, ठीक है, which is the third shell in this case. So that's going to be 6, right? And how many unpaired electrons does it have? What's the answer to that?
सर
how many?
डी आंसर.
Hmm?
सर इसका आंसर डी तो नहीं.
ठीक है, S is paired because it's got 2 electrons. P is 4. That means PX, PY, and PZ. 4 electrons. They're going to occupy each shell individually first, and then they're going to get paired. ठीक है, so it's going to have 2 unpaired. ठीक है, D. I said next one. The question refers to isolated gaseous atoms in which atom are all electrons paired. Now, you can either write the electronic configuration of all the atoms, or what can happen is, okay, barium is in group 2. So what's the electronic configuration of the outer shell of barium? Well, what was the electronic configuration of
सर S2 इनके ग्रुप 2 में है ना.
ठीक है, that's going to be S2. Bromine is group 17. So what is that?
सर आउटर शेल की S2 और P5.
ठीक है, this one is going to be S2P5. Sulfur is group 6.
सर उसकी S2 और P4.
अच्छा, silicon is group 4.
S2 and P2.
ठीक है, S2P2. Though, in which atom are all electrons paired? We don't care about the inner shell because that will
सर
obviously be
इसका
full.
आंसर फिर A होगा.
हाँ, क्योंकि the other ones, I said the other ones, obviously this is not, I mean, there's going to be unpaired. This one will also, all of these will have unpaired. The first one is, the outer shell is full, so we can assume that the inner shells are also full. I said this one, what is the electronic configuration of a nickel ion? Remember, electrons are always removed from the outermost shell. Nickel. Now, if I want to quickly figure out what nickel is a transition metal. So you just need to count. Okay, it's going to be D1, D2, D3, D4, D5. Remember, you have to be quick. Okay, you can either write the whole electronic configuration, or you should simply know that it's going to be S2D8, right? And it's the eighth atom in the row, so it's going to be S2D8, which makes it B, except that we are talking about the ion, so the two electrons are lost. So the outermost electrons are going to be lost, which would make it D. You clear?
जी सर.
So ये answer करो कि which one is the correct option for this one?
सर क्रिप्टॉन ग्रुप 1 का एलिमेंट है.
Which नहीं, group 1 नहीं, krypton is a noble gas, group 18. एक सेकंड, एक से मैं चार्जर ऑन कर. अच्छा बताओ, krypton is the 1s and 2s orbitals have the same energy. Is that true? हेलो, आवाज आ रही है?
जी.
अच्छा, 1s and 2s, do they have the same energy?
सर डिफरेंट नहीं होगी.
Because 1 and 2 are the shell numbers, principal quantum numbers, and they represent energy. 2s is obviously going to have more energy compared to 1s. So the first statement is incorrect. They are not going to have the same energy. So the third energy level has 3 subshells and 9 orbitals. Is that true? Shell number 3. Jannat Ghaziya क्या होगा? Is this true or not?
सर आई गेस इनकरेक्ट.
Let's go back and have a look at the off-off principle where we learned how to write the electronic configurations. This one. Okay. Look at the third shell. It's got a 3s, it's got a 3p, and it's got a 3d as well. Clearly, you've got 3s, 3p, and 3d. So the third shell is bigger. The first shell only has 1s. The second shell has 2s and 2p. Okay, I mean, this is your second shell. So it's got 2s and 2p. The first one only has 1s, right? But anyways, 3s, 3p, 3d, that's 3 subshells, right? So how many orbitals is this? D में, how many orbitals are in D?
सर 5. सर 5.
5. इसमें 3p will have how many orbitals? 3. And S subshell has only 1 orbital, right? So 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 9 orbitals. So the third shell has how many orbitals? 9 orbitals. So that is correct. Okay, it's going to have 3 subshells, right? And those 3 subshells will have 9 orbitals. Okay, is this clear?
यस.
So last one, the 3D subshell has 5 orbitals that have the same energy as each other in an atom. Or does it have 5 orbitals and do they have the same energy?
सर लास्ट वाला भी फिर करेक्ट नहीं होगा क्योंकि d ऑर्बिटल में सेम एनर्जी होती है
Subshell में any subshell the orbitals have the same energy. ठीक है, the orientation is different. अच्छा, next one. Which statement about the atoms of sodium and magnesium are correct? They have the same number of filled electron orbitals. अच्छा, filled, I think this is filled means completely filled. So they have the same number of filled electron orbitals. Sodium is group 1, so the outermost subshell will be S1, and magnesium is group 2, so that means the outermost is going to be S2, right? And they're right next to each other, so I don't think they're going to have the same number of Mg is going to have one extra filled orbital. Is that clear?
yes sir
So they don't have the same number. They have the same number of neutrons, which I think is going to be correct. This is 11, this is 12. So number of neutrons, 23 minus 11 and 24 minus 12. So that I think is correct. Achha, are they both reducing agents? But what's a reducing agent? Does it lose electrons? Does it gain electrons?
सर reduce electrons
Shell itself gains electrons.
The reducing agents, they get oxidized, right? याद है?
Yes.
जी सर तो फिर वो reduce करेगा
नहीं, वो तो they reduce the other substance, right?
जी
Reducing
जी
agents, they
वही
get oxidized. They are the ones that lose electrons, right? ठीक है, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
yes
And metals are always reducing agents because metals are always the ones that are always losing electrons. And Na and Mg are reactive metals, so that means they are going to lose electrons and they will be acting as reducing agents. ठीक है? I mean, they will get oxidized. They will lose electrons. See, is this clear?
जी सर
So this one, an isolated gaseous atom of element X has paired electrons in at least one of its 3D orbitals. So he needs paired electrons in at least one of the 3D orbitals. And he needs a filled 4s subshell. So remember, the word filled means completely filled. Okay. What could be the identity of element X? The first one is iron, copper, and you've got gallium, right? So iron and copper, I can easily find out about iron. Where's the periodic table? अच्छा, quickly करना. So iron is 4s2 and d6, right? अच्छा, iron यहाँ पे. अच्छा, so it's s2n d6. So the s is filled, and is the d, at least one of the d, is it going to be paired or not?
सर पेयर होगा
Well, at least because 6 means that there's going to be one electron each in each of the orbitals, and one of them is going to have 2 electrons. So at least one will be paired. ये उसका question था ना, at least one has to be paired. I said the other one was copper, I think. So copper is the special case. It should have been CD9 and S2, right? But instead it's S1 and D10. Although at least one of them is paired. Actually, all of them are paired. But the S is not going to be filled in the case of copper. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
yes sir
अच्छा, so this one, it's not going to be copper. It's definitely iron. And then you have gallium. So gallium is somewhere over here. I think it's right after zinc. This is gallium. So now remember, gallium is right after all of this. Like all these orbitals get filled, and then you have, and the next element is gallium, right? So gallium is going to have D10. I mean, it's going to have other electrons as well. I mean, S2 and P1, right? But when it comes to gallium, the D is already full and the S is also full, right? So that means there's at least one D orbital that is paired and the S is filled. So gallium is also correct. EK, gallium is also correct. But is this last one clear? Okay, why gallium is correct?
जी सर.
Okay. I said this one, try and answer this one. Which isolated gaseous atom has a total of 5 electrons occupying spherically shaped, sorry. It's a gaseous atom has a total of 5 electrons occupying spherically shaped orbitals. 5 electrons in spherically shaped orbitals. So for this one, you would have to write the whole electronic configuration. You try and find this one out. I'm going to tell you the number of electrons. Boron is, I think, 5 protons. Fluorine is 9, sodium is 11, and potassium is 19. So 5 electrons in spherically shaped orbitals. अच्छा हेलो आवाज आ रही है आपको?
जी सर.
ऐसे इसका टैब डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया. Thank you. 1 second. ऐसे लेकिन do find that out कि just 1 second. So first,
सर आंसर सी है.
ठीक है, sodium. Okay, what's the
जी
electronic
सर.
configuration of sodium? That's 1s2, 2s2. It's 2p6, and then you have 3s1, right? So the spherically shaped orbitals are your s orbitals. So if you total the number of electrons, that's 5, 2 in 1s, 2 in 2s, and there's 1 in 3s. Okay, so 5 electrons in spherically shaped orbitals. So sodium is the correct answer. I said next one. Again, you have to do this very quickly. There are 3 elements, chlorine, sodium, and vanadium. 3 of these configurations belong to elements of chlorine, sodium, and vanadium, right? So which electronic configurations belongs to an atom of another element? Let's say quickly identify which one is chlorine. Chlorine is in group 7. So if it's in group 7, which one is chlorine?
सर B1.
Okay, group 7 is going to be what? It's going to be S2P5, right? So that is B. Achha, sodium is group 1. Which one is sodium?
Sir, first वाला.
Okay, so any element in group 7, its outer subshell is going to be S with 1 electron. Achha, vanadium is a transition metal, and I think it's the third one, I think. So if it's the third one, so which one is going to, yeah, vanadium is this. यहाँ पे गलत है फिर. I think vanadium is the pure table है इसके पास. Can you check? Scandium, titanium. अच्छा, मैंने गलत लिखा हुआ. I think it is the. अच्छा, now coming back to this. Vanadium is the third one. It's going to be S2D3, right? So if we go back, so this is going to be vanadium, right? So the fourth element must be the last one. Clear? Is this clear?
जी sir.
So anyways, next one. You're given these there's an electronic configuration given, and you're supposed to figure out which element it is, right? So it's D5 and S2. That means it's the fifth one, the fifth transition metal. ठीक है, remember transition metals में किस तरह होता है? It's D1, then D2, and so on, right? So D5 means that it's the fifth one, right? Which I think is manganese. Is this clear?
Yes sir.
I say, okay, which ion has the same electronic configuration as Cl-1? Cl-1 has 17 protons. This one is 9, this is 15, this is 21, this is silicon क्या होता है? 14. Who has the same electronic configuration as Cl-1?
Sir.
17 minus 1 means कितने electrons? 18, right?
जी sir.
Or scandium 3 plus is the one that's going to have 18 electrons. So C is the answer, right? Clear है?
जी sir.
अच्छा, अगला, try and understand the next question. Which of the following particles would, on losing an electron, have a half-filled set of p orbitals? Remember, the issue is you have to do this very quickly.
Sir, is it D?
किसने D? मैं check कर लेता हूँ. मुझे तो what's the electronic configuration of O? It's in group 6.
Sir, S2 and P4.
अच्छा, लेकिन it is +1, right? So we're not talking about O, we're talking about O +1. That means 1 electron is lost, right? So the electronic configuration of O +1 is S2P3, right? ये clear है? Is this clear?
जी sir.
अच्छा, so now he's saying the following particle should be losing an electron. So make O +1 lose an electron. So what would it become? It would become S2P2, right? Is that clear?
जी sir.
So P2 is not half-filled set of p orbitals. If it has 3 electrons, that's a half-filled set of p orbital. Okay? So it's not going to be D.
सर फिर इसका आंसर सी बनता
अच्छा, C is nitrogen is group 5, so it's S2P3, but since it's got a -1 charge, so it's going to be S2P3 plus 1 electron, so it's going to be. So this is N-1, and now if you make it lose an electron, it will become P3, and that will have a half-filled set of p orbital. Okay, so that's your answer. Clear, Jannat? Is this clear, Ghazi?
जी
जी
सर
सर
अच्छा, I'm just going to do questions where ये बता दो, which pair is not radius, forget radius at the moment. Yeah, this one. अच्छा, the graph represents the number of unpaired p orbital electrons for atoms with proton number 13 to 18. So proton 13 to 18, and they are plotting the number of unpaired electrons. So which graph is the correct one? I remember group 13 or proton number 13 is group 3 actually. 13 में कौन होता है? एल्यूमिनियम होता है ना? हाँ ठीक है, that's group 3.
सर इसका आंसर डी
हाँ मेरे ख्याल से ठीक है. 13 is group 3, right? तो वो क्या होगा? That's going to be S2P1, right? So 1 unpaired. This will be S2P2, that's 2 unpaired. S2P3, that's 3 unpaired. ठीक है, so you're going up. And then 16 will be group 6, that's S2P4. P4 means only 2 unpaired, right? Okay, 1 would be full now. And S2P5 would mean just 1 unpaired because all the other P's are full. S2P6 will be 0 because all of them are paired. So the answer is D. Acha, what could be the proton number of an element that has 3 unpaired electrons in each of its atoms? Acha, 3 unpaired electron, which group would it be in?
सर ग्रुप 15
ठीक है, group 15, ठीक है, S2P3. So 15 proton number, I think, is group 15, right? Phosphorus hota hai na? So it's going to be 15. Acha, quickly tell me which group this is in. ये तो डायरेक्ट नहीं पता लग जाएगा. Which group is this in?
सर ग्रुप 8
ठीक है, S2P6, that's group 8. Or 18. I think this is an old question, 2011, so they're using group 0. But remember, okay, now it's called group 18. In which pair do both species have the same number of unpaired p electrons? Same. First one, this is group 6, and this one is group 7. Do they have the same number of unpaired electrons?
जी सर
Okay, that's S2P4, and the other one is S2P5, but since it's +1, so it will also become S2P4, right? So both are S2P4. This one, this is group 17, and this one is group 13, I think. Ab batao, okay, do they have the same number of unpaired electrons?
नो सर
Okay, F+1. What's the electronic configuration of F+1? That's
S2P4
okay, S2P5 होना था, but it's P4. And group 13, gallium -1, right? So it was,
S2P2
it should have been S2P1, but it's now S2P2. They do actually have the same number of unpaired p electrons. ये क्या होगा? पी एक्स पी वाई पी जेड, राइट? And P2 would be what? PX1, PY1, and PZ0, right? So how many unpaired? Two unpaired? How many unpaired over here? It's also two unpaired. P4 and
सर
P2,
लेकिन वो लास्ट वाला काउंट नहीं होता पीजी?
नहीं वो तो अनपेड तो नहीं है, वो तो है ही नहीं उधर कुछ।
तो सर वो भी फिर एज एन अनपेड नहीं काउंट होता?
अनपेड किधर? इलेक्ट्रॉन ही कोई नहीं है। अनपेड पी इलेक्ट्रॉन ना, तो पी जेड में तो इलेक्ट्रॉन ही नहीं है, तो उसको आप अनपेड पी इलेक्ट्रॉन क्या बोल के समझ सकते हो?
ठीक है सर।
ठीक है, अनपेड पी इलेक्ट्रॉन देर आर टू, ठीक है। एक second. अच्छा, तो unpaired, so both of them have two electrons. अच्छा, third one. Group 15 and neon is a noble gas. ये नहीं होगा शायद. This is S2P3, group 15. And noble gases is S2P6, but it will plus one means P5, right? So I don't think C unpaired and the other one has two unpaired. So they definitely don't have the same number of unpaired electrons. ठीक है, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
जी
अच्छा, ये बता दो, 8 electrons, what's the electronic configuration? अच्छा, remember one thing, okay, when we talk about electronic configuration, we're always talking about the lowest energy state or the ground state, ठीक है? Which basically means ideally how the electrons should look like. ठीक है, एक और state होती है, there's another state which is called the excited state, where what happens is that electrons can gain energy and they can move to higher energy subshells. ठीक है, so remember, okay, when we talk about electronic configurations, we always by default talk about the lowest energy state or the ground state. ठीक है, ये क्लियर है?
जी सर। तो सर फिर इसका आंसर ए नहीं बनता?
नहीं, देखो, पी एक्स पी वाई पी जेड आर आइडेंटिकल, दे हैव द सेम एनर्जी, तो बी इज द आंसर ना, कि one electron each in each of the orbitals, and then there's going to be the second electron will go in the first one. ठीक है, क्लियर है?
जी सर।
जी सर।
अच्छा, और कोई? ये दूसरी तरह का क्वेश्चन है. अच्छा ठीक है, बाकी ट्राई कर लेना कि ट्राई एंड डू दीज क्वेश्चंस. तुम कल से ना विल स्टार्ट आयनाइजेशन एनर्जीज, ठीक है? उसके क्वेश्चंस बहुत मुश्किल होंगे. उसके क्वेश्चन मुश्किल, कॉन्सेप्ट इजी है लेकिन क्वेश्चंस बहुत मुश्किल होते हैं उसके. कुछ क्वेश्चंस मुश्किल होते हैं. चलिए, कल हम करते हैं आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी, ठीक है?
ओके सर, अल्लाह हाफिज।
ओके, टेक केयर. अल्लाह हाफिज.